And that's enough of that. Screw that. Hi, I'm with Rick from Seattle, the Seattle Rick, as he's known, though he doesn't live in Seattle. Hi, Rick. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you, Walter?
Well, welcome to North of 48. It's December 20th. We're just getting ready for Christmas. You know what I want to give America for Christmas, Rick?
It's two front teeth.
Healthcare with dental. So, that would be good. We'll take a little we'll we're, we'll take a step back to December 4th when all the stuff went down, okay? Hold on.
Yes, December 4th, a holy day, as I like to call it.
The murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson sparked an outpouring of frustration online about Americans' dissatisfaction with health insurers.
We've been trying to tell you that for-profit healthcare kills.
United Healthcare is the largest health insurer in the U.S., covering over 50 million Americans. In 2023, the company made more than $16 billion in profits. Some say those profits come from not paying out on insurance claims.
Yeah, that's right.
Thompson was shot dead on the street outside a Manhattan hotel. The suspected gunman had the words deny, defend, and depose engraved on his ammunition, terms often used to describe tactics by insurers to avoid payouts. Insurers are not required to publish the data on how often they deny claims, but United Healthcare has been frequently criticized over having especially high denial rates.
The United Healthcare CEO dying is tragic and horrible. In fact, let's take a look at some of the other horrible things that have happened to people. Last year, 2 elderly people insured by United died. They were denied life-saving coverage by United because the company used an AI model with a 90% error rate to determine the claim. A college student insured by United racked up $2 million in medical debt to treat a severe medical issue. He said the company intentionally ignored a report that said this treatment was medically necessary. A man's $140,000 heart surgery wasn't covered by United at all because they said that he used a type of injection that wasn't medically necessary. He didn't even use it. Patients recovering from strokes and falls, often elderly, were denied nursing care from United and were often only covered for half the time needed to recover. Now, United's claim denial rate is one of the highest in the industry at 32%. An insurance company's biggest expense is what it pays out in claims. If it denies more claims, it pays out less, and then it gets to keep more profits. Now keep that in mind when I tell you that United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson is one of the highest paid CEOs in the industry, taking home about $10 million last year. So it is sad that this poor man cannot spend his $10 million. Sad that a man who achieved the American dream by causing thousands of Americans to die each year from preventable causes because of a lack of health insurance coverage, it's sad that he got shot. What does that say about society? That nobody who makes money off of people dying is safe anymore? If we want change, we must nicely ask for it. Just like when we nicely ask for health coverage and it gets denied. On a serious note, it is morally wrong to celebrate the death of someone. But we also have a moral responsibility with our one life on this earth to look out for each other and to care for each other. If someone doesn't do that and they lose their life...
I like her.
She's pretty great.
Yeah. So, hey, United Healthcare is the 11th biggest company in the world.
Yeah, and its stock went up after the guy got shot, which to me says that we should keep shooting CEOs if we want the stock market to continue going up.
Yeah, no, that's true. You know what I found outrageous though was, and I do have some video on it, is Washington Post, New York Times, especially Brett Stevens. He's just a jerk. CNN, all these guys saying what a working man Brian was, the CEO. He just came from a farm. Was it Indiana or Idaho? And he was just one of us. Just a working blue collar kind of guy. With $10 million.
Pulled himself up by his bootstraps.
He did. That's right. And he was under indictment with the government too, as well, for insider trading. having dumped a whole bunch of stock prior to some bad news that United Healthcare was doing something bad. And, you know, you got to be smart to make money, right, Rick?
And you have to understand that, you know, if you have to kill 1 million people, so be it. Money is money.
Do you
Nothing
think
money's
you're the
like
president
money.
of the United States to kill 1 million people? I mean,
oh hell, he's killed way more than that, and I don't even think he gets that kind of money. Our president right now doesn't even know what day it is. So, but
Musk?
we were Elon Musk, yes,
Yeah.
President Musk. No, as far as United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson being killed, it's very sad. He was a self-made man, very sad. But you know, it's sad when they go like that. What's most important, though, is not the motivations of the killer or the deny, defend, oppose. The most important thing that anyone should pay attention is the public reaction, which was glad he's dead. That was the public reaction, and the media has done its best to fight against that. They want to stamp that down, but they're also affected by this. There's nothing to be benefited from the middle manager parasitic entity that is health insurance. It should be just a single payer, the U.S. federal government, and everybody knows it, but nobody can do anything about it because these fuckers own the government.
Well, it's amazing because you got Medicare. There was one story about if a guy was on Medicare, he was covered, but if he was on Medicare Part D, a government program which gives money to United Health, he wasn't covered on a surgery. So you kind of shake your head at that.
The idea that you would go to a hospital, a doctor would say you need a blank surgery, and you have some middleman that says, well, we're not paying for it, even though technically we're your insurance. It's outrageous. It's not experienced by virtually anyone in the world. America really gets raked over the coals for this dumbass industry. And when I heard people there was somebody in the New York Times or somebody was writing saying, he was doing I think it was a eulogy from his company, was like, he was doing his best to take a patchwork system and try to integrate it as a more holistic. And I'm like, no, sir. The only thing that should happen is that your entire industry should be wiped out.
Yes. Well, I agree. United Healthcare has their hands. They've consolidated the industry so much where their supplier, they have a prescription or medical outfit. They have insurance, and they own, according to Elizabeth Sanders, that would be a good name, Elizabeth Sanders, Senator Elizabeth Warren. They control up to 90,000 doctors in America, right? So,
yeah, and there should only be one entity that can control doctors in America. It should be the U.S. federal government.
Right. So it's been 66 years. We went from powered flight to landing on the moon, and it's over 100 years till somebody said, hey, maybe we should have Medicare for all. That was prior to the Second World War. So
it's been proposed for, a century by various parts of the country, some form of federal coverage. Right. But it always gets defeated. I don't know all of the details behind it. I hear that the AMA has a lot to do with the creation of the health insurance industry. And it's just a big graft. And when one of these people gets shots, well, it's just the price of doing business. And they know it. We know it. Everyone knows it. That's why we celebrated. But they also went out and caught the guy.
Yes, which is funny you should say. Oh, by the way, it's Bismarck from Germany. He was the first one to bring in a national Medicare plan because he thought, well, if I'm going to need guys in the army, they better be healthy. So
my dad he's a veteran, and he goes through the VA system, and it is the only system in the United States where the government owns the hospitals, the doctors, and they are the single payer. And I asked him, he's a staunch conservative, and he hates communism. But I asked him, how's your government health care? He says, it's great. So, hey.
I hear you. Well, let's hear from Jesse Waters in News Nation on what he thinks of Luigi, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's do it.
This guy's not ready. He's way too soft. He's going to get annihilated on the inside, and good. If he's not going to get the death penalty, maybe someone will do him justice behind bars. That's all I have to say about that.
You should stop there.
Free Luigi! Free Luigi! Terrible!
Yeah, I think he's okay in jail.
Yeah, I heard there was right after they during the manhunt and then right after they arrested him, there were conservative talking heads that were like, "Oh, it's gonna be tough for him in jail," and everybody just laughs at that because we all know, like, no, nobody in there is like, "You killed us." We don't like two things in here: child molesters and CEO killers. No, man, that guy's a hero. He's a national hero, and I expect that no jury in the New York area is going to find him guilty of anything.
That's what I was wondering too, like who's going to convict him. However, now that they went to a terrorism charge, which is
outrageous,
it's ludicrous. I wonder if they could, because it's terrorism, if it goes to a federal court now, and whether they can handpick the jury. You know,
well, they will do what they can do with that jury. The prosecutors will eliminate, their. But the truth is like this permeates. It's not just jackasses who pay attention to politics that are like, yeah, we support Luigi. It's everyone who's ever interacted with the insurance industry, and that's everyone. So they're not going to find a sympathetic jury. Would it be a
jury of his peers, 12 CEOs?
I hope they all find the time. And you know what? I hope they all go to the same place at the same time. And God forbid any sort of accident might happen when they were all in the same place at the same time.
Well, that's true. One of the most sarcastic things I heard was that CEO, I know he's looking up at us. So I thought that was pretty good, actually.
He's looking up at us.
Yeah. I got another video of a woman talking about healthcare, and she's in New York because Luigi is now in New York. He's waived extradition, and they flew him. And I have a video of that too. But I want to this next video kind of touched me in a way because she was so pensive about it, about what was happening. So just give me a second. I'll play that. Okay.
He is complicit in murder. These CEOs are all complicit in murder. I'm going to extend that to all of the fucking politicians who take stocks, who rely on those stocks to have these insane salaries every year. And Nancy Pelosi. Hi, Nancy Pelosi.
Oh my God.
Honestly, like, you are just scamming the people out of everything that they're owed, and then they're guaranteed jobs once they leave office with these fucking people that are fucking us over.
I don't think she's leaving office.
Who do we serve? We serve, like, does American people serve the people, or do they serve these companies? But I'm not a violent person. Yep. I'm not going to hurt anybody. What else is going to make these people listen? Like, it's like these people are just not listening. So
Do you know who John Brown is?
I don't.
He's a radical abolitionist.
Oh, I think I've been hurt. Okay. I might have.
If John Brown is an American hero, Luigi's an American hero.
Damn right.
Well, a lot of people are upset in America about your healthcare, Rick.
I don't feel like it just stops with shooting healthcare CEOs. I'm fine with any other, Jamie Dimon didn't get any sort of punishment after that 2008 crisis. I don't feel like he should be walking around just free to go to Starbucks anytime he wants. And I feel that way about almost any other billionaire CEO in this country. The Walton family, all of them. They should, if they were to meet their end through violence, I will not be sad. I will be like, hey, finally progress has been made.
Well, that's the amazing thing about this is myself personally and being a Canadian, I really don't feel anything for a CEO of United Healthcare, and I know it's
Right.
tragic and stuff, and a young man gunning somebody else down, especially a 50-year-old. My gosh, leave the old people alone. But I don't feel anything, to be honest.
I
I
describe it as
see.
self-defense.
Yeah, well, I see the reasoning. That's for sure. So Luigi got extradited to New York, and it's just I got to show you the video, okay, buddy?
Yeah,
I got to do it.
I haven't seen this.
Perp walk that Luigi do as he was extradited to New York is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Is this man El Chapo? John Gotti? Is this from a movie for the upcoming Superman? Can Luigi, does he have special ability to just fly away? And don't get me wrong, I'm no Luigi apologist. I'm not posting fan cams of Luigi on my Instagram story, but this is one of the craziest media spectacles I've ever seen. Look at the FBI agents in the front. That's Burt Macklin. It's probably because of the shackles on his ankles, but you gotta love how slow Luigi's walking. He knows where the cameras are, all right? He was made for the spotlight. I'm not saying I'm a fan of him, but he was made for the spotlight. And then in the back, we got Eric Adams, who's taking some time off from trying to get a pardon from Donald Trump. He showed up. And then we got guys all surrounding Luigi with guns as if some magical force is gonna come down and take him away. Who? Is this Lex Luthor? I'm speechless.
Yep.
He
looks like a boss right there.
Well, he does. And prior to Brian getting whacked or put out of his misery, there were 5 other murders in 4 days. None of them got the attention this did.
Right, exactly.
And it's the money, the millions of dollars involved, and CEOs are now. Do I have that?
They touched a wealthy elite, and the elites can, they're the ones who get to call up Eric Adams and be like, get the manhunt on, get the National Guard on this, So, yeah, this is, and that's what they're doing with this big perp walk with the 800 people walking this guy back to jail in New York, is that they want to send the message that we don't want any of you people trying this. We're deathly afraid of copycats, and as well they should be.
Well, Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, is setting up a hotline that CEOs, if they feel their life is threatened, they can phone. And she wants the government resources and taxpayer-funded money to go towards keeping the CEOs safe in America. Right.
There's an endless spigot of money to keep a CEO safe.
Yes.
I mean, we had, you recall that Dick Cheney was once CEO of Halliburton, and then he became the vice president. So,
Right. And Halliburton never made any money during the Iraq war at all, did they?
No. It's strange how we invaded a country with a massive amount of oil underneath it, thus providing Halliburton with billions of dollars of contracts. But just a weird coincidence, I suppose.
Well, did George Bush Jr., did he whack the CEO of Iraq? Is that what happened here?
I think he did. And, like I was saying, specifically on this healthcare stuff, when people fight back directly at that, that is a very direct kind of self-defense. I, as an anti-capitalist, believe that shooting any CEO is an act of self-defense, because their act of capitalism is undoubtedly enslaving or killing people around the world. So you're not going to find any sympathy for me, and I'm really glad we talked about this.
Well, okay. Thank you, Rick.
Hey, before I get out of here, though, do you have anything further?
Well, I did, but no. Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to plug my new podcast. It's about Transformers. Sure. It's got nothing to do with this kind of heavy-duty shit. But you can find me and all my friends over at Talking Over Transformers, wherever you get your podcast. That's Talking Over Transformers.
That's like watching a movie with you. talking over movies or talking over
TV. Yes, absolutely.
Right. And that's on YouTube?
You find it at YouTube. You find it on iTunes. You find it at Spotify. You find it wherever you get a podcast. So.
Well,
that's Talking Over Transformers.
Right. Okay. Hey, just one question. If people in your neck of the woods, I think in Washington State, right?
Hey, I might be Seattle Rick, but I don't live in Washington State. Wink, wink.
If you don't have a job, do you have health care in your state?
Washington State has a very affordable state-funded health care option, health insurance option. And I have used it, and it functions. It's thing is, though, is like what happened for me, and this is just my anecdote, is that I didn't have healthcare at a particular juncture. I just switched jobs, so I got on it for a few months, and then I got off of it. But those few months, I wasn't charged anything, and I was covered. And if I had to go to the doctor, like, it was great. I did not realize, though, when I went to do my taxes and my tax return, they took like $2,000 out of my tax return to pay for my health insurance that I had for like 3 months. So yeah, but I could afford it at the time, so it wasn't like a big deal. But that's my experience with the Washington State healthcare system health insurance plan. But I'm glad it exists, and I was grateful to have it when it was there. My wife uses it, so we're grateful to have it. Right. And then we also benefit from some other government health insurance. My stepson is of Native descent, so he gets to use like an Indian insurance, which is pretty great. And so it is a strange patchwork in America. There are programs provided by the government that'll cover certain zones, but there's still this dead middle where nobody's being covered unless you got a job. And if you leave that job, who knows what's going to happen? And even if you have a job and you have health insurance, you go to the doctor, you don't know what they're going to cover, and you don't know if you're going to walk to the mailbox one day and get a $1,000, $1,500, $10,000 bill. You just don't know. So, like, that's one of the ways we regulate the use of healthcare in this country, is that we just don't tell you what it's going to cost and make you afraid of what it might cost.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
That's Talking Over Transformers, found anywhere you get a podcast.
Talking Over Transformers. We'll throw it in the show notes. Thank you very much, Rick. You take care, man.
Thank you, Walter. Appreciate it. We'll see you later, man.
You bet. There we go. Stopped. Thank you, Rick.
You bet.